Oh my god, my cat is literally a psychopath, just fucking attacking me for no reason. But literally so cute. Like, is this not honestly one of the cutest cats you've ever seen? Look at that fat belly! She is quite overfed. What is up, my lovely buttercups? I am back to finally film the Q&A. Literally so many of you sent so many fucking good questions, like so many that I can't even put it in one Q&A. So I think I'm actually gonna do a second Q&A now in like another couple of weeks. So if you have questions or haven't sent in questions yet or still want to send questions, like it's not too late. Like keep sending questions and I'll just keep making Q&As like periodically for as long as you guys want to know shit. Some of the questions I got I will not be answering. Like, come on now, I can't incriminate myself on here. We're just gonna dive on it. Starting off like pretty basic, what is my major and or my minors and what are my future plans and my goals like with that degree, etc. Like most people, I have been pretty clueless as to what I want to do with my life like post-graduation. Like I don't fucking know what I'm gonna get a job in, you guys. It's so fucking stressful. For a 95% fact, I'm moving back to Austin in a year when I graduate, which is what I want to do. I want to live in Austin, but the job market here is so fucking competitive. Like I don't even want to talk about it. It stresses me the fuck out. I'm majoring in ICT, which stands for Information Communication Technologies, which is basically like IT, like computer coding, web design, all that kind of shit mixed with communications and writing and stuff. And I basically just had to pick a major. Like sophomore year, I was running out of time. I hadn't declared anything because I changed my major twice already. I wanted that major because it seemed pretty easy, and I'm also like obviously into tech stuff, so I was like, I mean, it makes kind of sense to like study something that's like tech related. Also, the world is like so technologically driven nowadays that it's not gonna hurt to have like some kind of tech degree under my belt. And then I'm also minoring in entrepreneurship and English. I love English, I love writing, so that's basically just to like hone in on writing skills. And then entrepreneurship, obviously, I'm kind of just trying to make a name for myself, make a brand for myself, doing the whole female empowerment thing. So I want to learn like how a business works, how you start a business, things like that. So that's what I'm studying. And as far as a job post-graduation, you guys, I'm so fucking clueless. I don't fucking know. But my long-term goals are I would love to be a motivational speaker slash like a life coach. How I'm planning on doing that is I'm hoping like in whatever 5 years time, or maybe it'll take longer, who knows, that my following on YouTube will grow to a big enough size that I'll have leverage to like reach out to subscribers to be like, would you be interested in like doing these things with me? Like I would want to put together conferences that like women would come to, kind of like a Tony Robbins style thing where I'd be like on a stage and like speaking motivationally, but like being my like crude, funny, whatever self. It wouldn't just be like boring, obviously. I'd make it really interactive. It'd be really fun. I'd like be bringing people up on stage and it would be all about just like building women's confidence and empowering women, and people would be able to share their stories and stuff like that. And then I also want to do like one-on-one life coaching, whether that was in person with people who lived close enough to where I lived to like come into an office and like have like hour, 2-hour meetings with me, and not really therapy obviously, but just like talking about your life and what's going on in your life, and just having like a mentor there, which would be me, to like motivate you and guide you and stuff. And then also likewise, if you're far from me, I would want to be able to do that through Skype calls as well. I definitely want to write books. I have one book idea in the works right now that if I just sit the fuck down and start writing it, I think it would be phenomenal. Like I think it'd be 100% like a bestseller type thing. So yeah, that's probably like my 10-year plan. Don't really know how I'm gonna get to those stages of life, but that's like what I would ideally want to do, and I feel like in my gut like very confidently that I'm gonna get there. So just you guys wait and see. Okay, this question was really popular. It was, how do you like make friends outside of Greek life? And I totally get that, because obviously a lot of my good friends, even though like the majority of my best friend group, there was like 6 of us, I would say, all but one of us ended up dropping XYZ because we all are like the same type of person and we all were like, this is bullshit. Obviously those friends are people that I did meet in XYZ, and I will be forever grateful for like going through Rush and like that process, because I wouldn't have made the friends that I have if I hadn't been in a sorority for a short period of time. But I also have a lot of friends that were never in Greek life at all, or in other sororities, or that were in other sororities but have also dropped. All those other friends that I've made, honest to God, I've just met from like going out. So if you just go out, obviously if you're drinking, you feel feel a lot more social. You just start meeting people. I've gotten girls' numbers at bars just as often as I've gotten guys' numbers. Also, because I'm so close with ATO, I have made good friends with like guys that are friends with me as girlfriends, or guys will like know other girls. Like my sophomore year when I hung out at that house that all those ATOs lived in, I got to know this one group of girls who were in a different sorority. I became friends with like people on my dorm floor who then would have like their friends that they'd met come over to their dorms, and then like in the hallway and in dorm bedrooms you would just be introduced to people. Like it seems so difficult, like how do you make friends? But colleges have so many fucking people from so many different backgrounds, so many different walks of life. Like the best part about college is that you find people that are like you and you make really good fucking friends because everyone's an adult now, and you find people that just have the same interests as you, whereas in high school like everyone's in this bubble and everyone like is trying to fit in and no one's really being authentic, so it's much harder to make like really good fucking friendships. But yeah, honestly it seems scary, but just give it a few weeks. Like you're just going to naturally meet people. Just put yourself out there, introduce yourself to people. When you meet one person and then that person introduces you to this person and this person, really put yourself out there. You don't know if those people are going to be your best friend. As you start to go to tailgates, to pre-games, to parties, to going out to bars, you're just going to naturally meet people. It seems scary, but I have like obviously so many friends. There's so many different people that I can hit up at any time to hang out with, and I've just met them all in the most obscure ways, so don't stress. Like you don't need a sorority. Some of the most beautiful, baddest fucking bitches that I know are girls that never even rushed in the first place, and they are doing just fine for themselves, even out of school like FSU, so you will make friends. Don't worry. Then I got a question. I thought this was really funny. Someone asked me about the Pike House, because Pike is like our #1 like top frat at FSU. Like it's all like really jacked guys, like really hot guys, very like so flow, like the joggers and the Converse and the muscle tanks so everyone can see your big arms. And those guys tend to date like very high tier sorority girls, or not even in a sorority but just very beautiful like FSU looking women. Also because the Pike House is like I think the biggest frat house in the nation. So someone was asking me if I'd ever been to Pike and what I thought about Pike and what it is about ATO that I like versus a frat like Pike. And yes, I've been to the Pike House. I've only been like max 3 times. I don't have anything against Pike. Pike just isn't really like the frat for me. Like if I don't like really bitchy sorority girls, I'm probably not going to like the kinds of guys that date those girls. And like likewise that I don't really vibe with guys like that. Guys like that would never date a girl like me. And that's not to say because I don't think I'm like pretty enough for like some super hot guy, because I am. My personality and just the person that I am to my core does not mesh with guys' personalities like that, and that's okay because everyone's different. But yeah, I have been, and they do throw really fun parties. They have a huge courtyard, so they set up like slip-and-slides and stuff. So for just going like with your friends to like get drunk and like have fun and like drink alcoholic snow cones or something, it's a pretty fun time. But at the end of the day, those aren't like my people, if that makes sense. The difference with like ATO, I guess, because ATO is also like a top tier fraternity, is I just think ATO is full of really genuine guys, and ATO has incredibly sexy, incredibly yoked guys. I just think that they're really authentic people, and of course there are huge fucking assholes in ATO, okay? Like Trevor, ultimate fuckboy, him and his friends were like followers of Satan or something. But just like there's bitchy girls in every sorority, there's huge assholes in every fucking fraternity, you know? Like you can't just categorize like that. I just have found that more often than not, all the ATOs that I've gotten to know or spoken to have been extremely authentic. Whether you're interested in them romantically or just want to be your friend, like it's just a good fucking time, and it's never like, oh, I feel like I'm not pretty enough, or I feel like these guys are judging me, which is definitely a vibe that I tend to get like at the Pike House. And at ATO it's like everyone's just so fucking chill, and I like chill. A lot of these questions are Greek related, like sorry. I didn't make these questions up, you guys did. Someone asked me what was my Greek life expectations, because clearly like what I experienced was obviously not what I expected. I was really ignorant when I went into recruitment. Like I legitimately thought that sororities were like big like sisterhood sleepovers, like you could walk into the house at any time and everyone knew everyone's name and everyone was like hugging and happy, and you just had like 200 people that really gave a fuck about you. And I don't know, I just thought everyone would be super authentic and everyone would love each other just for the sake that like we were all in the same house. And I thought that that like really meant something, like, oh, if we all ended up in the same house, like we clearly all have the same values or something, like we're all going to be really similar, so we're all going to get along. And that just wasn't the case. Like, everyone in each sorority is so different. Like, you don't have to fit like this certain mold to be in this certain house. So there's all different types of people, and then when there's like 200 girls, obviously you're not going to like everyone and everyone's not going to like you, and then naturally like 10 to 20 girls start to cluster together and make their own personal friend groups, and then cliques start to form, and then it's like really awkward because certain cliques like basically don't even acknowledge your existence but like worship the fuck out of each other, and then like certain cliques think that they're better than other girls who like aren't as pretty as them or don't go out as much as them or just whatever. And I just never felt really comfortable in my sorority. Like, you can walk in at any time, you have like a key, you can go at any time, you can get food, like you can go to study, like you can go hang out, like you are welcome at any time, obviously. But I just never felt very like comfortable walking in. I just didn't find that many people that I felt were like super authentic or people that I really wanted to be friends with, except for like the 6 girls that I did find. And like I said, like all but one of those girls ended up dropping too. So clearly like that just wasn't really, the sorority thing just wasn't our style. And I think we all had different expectations than what we ended up getting. And I just think that's part of life. Like, what in life ever goes like how you're expecting it to go? Like, nothing. And if I had known everything that I knew before I rushed, and like I'd had a big sister who'd gone through recruitment, or I knew more people that were already in sororities that could tell me like the complete lowdown of what it was really like, I probably would have never rushed, because I would have been able to say like, yeah, that's not me. I'm not that kind of person. I don't care about designer clothes, or I don't care about partying this much, or I don't care about like forming a clique or caring about the hottest boys on campus and wanting to be with us. Like, I don't care about those things. And if I'd known that all that was so like important to being in a sorority, I probably would have never rushed in the first place. But I didn't know until I was like in the throes of it. And then when you're in it and you're like really young and you don't have that much confidence and you come from a different state as I did, and you literally know no one, like you're a fucking immigrant, like fresh off the boat, like you're a foreigner literally in this new world, and you've been told that like FSU is a huge party school, like Greek life runs this school, like if you're not in a sorority, like you can kiss your social life goodbye. Like, you're so fucking scared. Like, you think like, okay, like I'm in this thing now and I don't really like it, and I think this and this and this is really shitty, and I feel like girls don't like me, and I feel like I'm being talked about behind my back, but I guess this is just how it is, and at least I have my friends, and I guess me and my friends will just mind our own business. And at least at the end of the day, when we go to parties and when we go to frats, we can tell the guys and we can tell the other people that we're in this sorority, because that fucking matters. And that was just my thinking. Next question is, has anyone from your former sorority reached out to you or said anything to you because of like the video you made, etc.? When I made that video, I honestly didn't really think that many people were gonna see it. Like, the fact that like 50,000 people now have seen that video and like hundreds of people have commented on it, like that is super crazy to me. I remember when people first started to like really find out about it, and people would text me like, everyone in XYZ knows about your video, and then like a week later, everyone in every sorority at FSU knows about your video. I was kind of like hyperventilating a little because I knew that shit was gonna hit the fucking fan, and I hate confrontation and I hate drama, but I honestly didn't really think that many people were gonna see it, and I didn't even think that at the time many people even knew that I had a YouTube channel. But literally all it takes is one person finding out one thing, and social media, like, shit spreads like wildfire. Obviously, like, XYZ wasn't pleased about it. Like, I've heard like really bad things like said about me, like group memes were made about me shitting on me, like, but like what do you expect? Like, if they like it, even the bitchiest girls in XYZ that like obviously don't like me because they're fucking bitchy and because I made this video, whatever, like, obviously if they think that like what they're doing is okay and they like how their sorority is being run and they like their sorority experience, then like that's just how they're gonna think, and they're obviously always gonna think that I fucking suck for doing that. But likewise, I'm always gonna think that they fucking suck for treating people how they did and for running their organization the way they did. And like I've said a million times, but I'll say it again, it's not just XYZ, you know? So many sororities are run this way at FSU and otherwise, even at small schools. Like, one of the interns that I'm working with this summer, like, she's a sweetheart, I fucking love her, like, I hope her and I are literally friends forever. She goes to a really small private school in California, and her and I like really connected because she was telling me that she had a super fucking horrible, like, superficial, shitty recruitment process, even at a super small private school in California, literally the other side of the fucking United States from Florida. So it's not just like XYZ. Like, it's unfortunate that XYZ was the house I was in, so that's the house that I'm gonna talk about and make reference to because that's my experience. But yeah, obviously they hate me and they're pissed. And besides the fact that that one girl at the beginning of last school year came out to me really drunk, like basically losing her shit on me because I posted the video, which I told you I made a story time about it, but I didn't post it because I didn't want to start more drama, blah, blah, blah. That was like the most intense thing that's gone down. And then I literally knew about it the very next day that she was like sending in the XYZ group me like, I just ran into Brighton and I cussed her the fuck out, like, fuck that bitch. And then everyone was like, yeah, you go girl. Like, oh my god. What a productive use of your time, but whatever makes you happy. That was definitely like the most like intense crazy thing that happened. But actually, good time for this Q&A. I did get a comment on my chit chat get ready with me that I just posted yesterday. Actually, this just happened yesterday, less than 24 hours ago, from my ex Little, and it was like the longest comment ever, just being like, you were the reason I fell in love with XYZ, like you would always say that XYZ was your home and that XYZ was the best sisterhood on campus, and like for you to now bash them, it like shows so much about your character, like you're clearly like a disgusting human being, like you're not a good person, like just completely shitting on me. And then she like ended up being like, for any girls that like want to rush, like rush and like find the house for you, like I had a good experience in XYZ had the most generous, amazing girls ever. And she said like, clearly the fact that you talk about them on your channel is proof that you're still so hung up on them and you're just upset that you're no longer in the best sisterhood on campus. I'm not gonna lie, when I read that I was pretty fucking pissed. Not because she's like saying that I'm disgusting and that I'm a bad person and all that shit. I was upset because her and I have not spoken in literally God only knows how long. And literally the second that I dropped, she like wrote me off, literally started calling my big her new big. And yeah, like they made their own new family without me. Like they didn't give a fuck. Like it was like, you're not in it anymore, you're not relevant. And her and I haven't spoken in literally months and months and months and months and months. And it would be one thing if she'd reached out to me and been like, hey, like I'm really upset with these videos, like I want to talk to you about like where I'm coming from and why this is upsetting to me, and then I'll hear you out and then we can try and understand each other better. Like that would be the mature thing to do, and I would respect that. And if we'd had an adult conversation like that and it had gone south, or if I hadn't been receptive to speaking to her, then I would understand if she felt the need to like go on my video and like write this long comment, obviously just trying to make me look bad. But the fact that she didn't do that and she hasn't reached out to me in so long, and she's definitely never expressed like any distaste towards me for making that video or for thinking the way that I felt, because everything that I fucking said was true. Like how can you be mad at me for speaking the truth? Like no offense, but she wasn't even in XYZ for a full year before me. Like I was in it for a full year. She was still in high school somewhere, didn't even go to FSU yet. She doesn't know like the experience that I had firsthand. She doesn't know exactly how I was treated. She doesn't know that within 2 weeks of me joining XYZ as a baby, 2 weeks post bid day, I was being told by other girls that seniors were roasting my Instagram, that seniors were making fun of me, that seniors were saying things that like my PC was the ugliest PC that XYZ has had in years. Like within 2 weeks of me joining this sisterhood that was supposed to be my like new home away from home because I was coming from Texas. Like she doesn't know all the nitty gritty details. She only knows her experience in the 1 year she was in it, because by the way, she dropped also, and she said that in her thing, and she was like, I only dropped for financial reasons. That's the only reason why. Everyone that I knew in XYZ was so generous and so amazing, and just because Brighton's saying this doesn't mean it's true, blah, 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 blah. First of all, after she was initiated and she'd only been in it for a few months, I remember before chapter, standing in the foyer, lining up to go down to the basement to have chapter, her literally telling me that she hadn't told me, but she had gotten together with our standard chair to like ask about dropping already. And she'd been initiated for like a few weeks because she said that she wasn't really vibing and she didn't feel like she had that many good friends yet, because she could notice that like people had already made their friends and had already made their cliques, because that's what always happens. And she'd literally gone behind my back as my little to like try and drop because she didn't like it. So like I remember that, and my fucking best friend and ex roommate Stephanie, that was her bid day buddy, remembers that too. And like clearly when you just go to like write this letter to me publicly on a video, you don't have good intentions. Like you're just trying to stir the pot, you're just trying to make yourself look good to the rest of XYZ. Like I don't respect that. So I ended up deleting the comment, because you don't get the privilege to fucking say shit about me like that when you can't even reach out to me as an adult. At the end of the day, I know that I'm a good person and I know that what I'm doing is right. So people, even my ex Little, being like, you're disgusting, like you promote girl empowerment and not judging others, but look what you're doing to XYZ. Like, yeah, I'm gonna judge people that do shitty things. Like, that's like people saying like, don't judge Donald Trump because he's the president. Like, what? There are some people that deserve to be called the fuck out. The only part of it that like made me want to stab me in the fucking eye was the fact that she was like, the fact that you talk about it just shows that clearly you're upset you're not even in the best house on campus anymore. What? I chose to leave XYZ and I would leave it every day over again for the rest of the time because that's how miserable it was. And yes, I did make her fall in love with XYZ, and yes, I did call XYZ my home, and yes, I did say that XYZ was the best sisterhood on campus because they literally, to recruit girls, obviously want to put out this image that we're the best. So they literally with a gun to our head tell us we're the best sisterhood on campus, we're the best sisterhood on campus. Like, it's a known thing throughout the Greek life community at FSU that XYZ is the best sisterhood on campus because that's just what they dub themselves, and that's what they tell everyone, and that's like basically their little slogan that they tell everyone. And yeah, just because I said something was my home, because again, they make you say these certain things to recruit you. There are people that have homes with their parents and their siblings that are abused every fucking day, and that's still their home. I was in a home, and it was a really fucking shitty home. Just to comment on like people on being like, you talk about XYZ so much, like, blah, blah, blah. First of all, if you guys keep asking me all these questions, like, this is what you want to know, then, like, yeah, I'm gonna put out the product that the people want. Like, that's basic economics. Like, let's say that I'm a store, and one product keeps reselling like wildfire. Am I gonna keep restocking the product that sells, or am I gonna keep restocking the product that hasn't even sold one fucking unit? Okay? It's common sense. If what's selling the most on my channel, creating a brand for myself, is information about sorority life, or stories about sorority lives, or Q&A about sorority life, that's what I'm going to keep creating because I'm trying to grow a platform, and you gotta give the people what they want, okay? That kind of ruffled my feathers a little bit because I just thought it was like super fucking petty, but now you guys know what she said. She doesn't like me, and she thinks that I fucking suck, and that I'm wrong, and that I'm a bad person for bashing them. Okay. They can't break you. Peace begins with me. I love myself. It works. Do it. There's so many fucking questions. I'm gonna have to make like 3 fucking Q&As. I got a question that I'm not gonna answer. I actually got this asked twice. That was, what is the hardest drug that you've ever done besides weed and alcohol? And I'm not gonna answer that because, like, duh. Let's just say for the record, I am not doing like hard drugs, like, ever. In college, you will be offered a lot of different things. I would say the hardest drugs that I've like heard of or like seen people doing or what's being offered to like girls by guys is cocaine, Molly, and Xanax. And I would just like to say that there are different side effects and different results for trying all of those drugs, and I know that college is a time for experimentation, and I don't necessarily think it's gonna kill you to like try something once. I definitely don't think you should start doing any of those drugs. I think even smoking weed like a lot or all the time isn't really that good for you. Like, obviously it's not good to inhale shit into your lungs, and it's not good to like be in this mindset where you don't feel that productive. But in college, there is such an abundance of like anything that you want at any time, and I'm sure at one point or another you're gonna be offered something, and that's like on you as an adult to decide if you want to try something or not. Just be safe if you do decide to. Like, don't fucking take a whole fucking bar of Xanax. Like, Xanax is intense. It's fucking dangerous. If you take even the smallest amount of Xanax, like half the size of my pinky nail, and take that and then drink even a couple drinks, you are blacking out. You will have no memory of anything. I know this because I used to have guy friends that would pop Xans every time they drank as if that's a normal thing to do, and it's not. Not to mention that it's so fucking addictive. Cocaine is so addictive. Those are not drugs that you should fuck with often, other than to say like, I tried this once in college, because it's dangerous. And if you take too much of something, you can OD and you can die. Like, you need to be fucking smart about what you're doing. But yes, there are hard drugs everywhere in college, and it is up to you to decide if you're comfortable trying that or not. But if you do decide to, because you're in college or because you're drunk and it already seems like a good idea, then like, just be fucking smart. Like, use your fucking brain. Last question, I got this question multiple times, is how have you become so confident, especially with how many shitty situations you've been with guys? Like, how are you not like completely broken at this point? I just think with each shitty guy or each shitty experience that you go through in life, I think that you do come out stronger. You'll also be way more sure of yourself to know like, I got through that, I handled that, that felt like I was dying, that felt like the end of the world, but here I am and I'm stronger and I'm better for it. And I just think it takes slow progression, okay? You just gotta love yourself. Like, even when you don't have makeup on, even when you're in sweats, you need to look in the mirror and really admire the parts of you that are fucking beautiful. And for the record, I think think all of you, every part of you is beautiful, but self-love is very difficult. So if you can just focus on even 5 things about you physically that you love and focus on that every day in the mirror, that's going to start to really stick with you over time. And if you just have little mantras that you tell yourself, like meditation, like this thing that I was doing earlier, and just think of little sayings make you feel better, I really like they can't break you. I think I'm actually going to get that tattooed on the back of my neck underneath the diamond, because the diamond is the toughest substance in the world, and diamonds are only formed under intense pressure, and nothing can scratch or break a diamond. And I would just like to add that, because everything that I've been through in my life, so many people coming at me, so many shitty guys, so many just obstacles, and there's going to be so many more before I die. I just like to know that like they can't break you. You just have to realize that you're worth so much more than some shitty guy or some shitty breakup or losing a friend. Like, you're better than that. And as long as you're being the best you can be, and being the best person that you can be, and living each day fully with a good heart, that's going to come back to you. It's really the power of attraction. What you put out into the universe is going to come back to you. And because I put out this super confident, I'm a bad bitch, I don't give a fuck, they can't break me vibe, that's what I'm starting to get back from the universe. And yes, you do have to go through shitty breakups or a whole sorority hating you to get stronger, but that's just life. You're a fucking bad bitch, and as long as you keep telling yourself you're a bad bitch, one day it's not even going to be something you have to tell yourself anymore, because you're just gonna fucking know. When you love yourself, it doesn't matter what someone else says. Like, it doesn't matter that my ex like said all those horrible things about me and tried to tell me that like I was disgusting and I'm not a good person, that what I'm doing is bad and whatever. Like, because I don't think that at all. I don't think that's true at all. And like, my truth is my truth, and I think I'm a bad bitch, and I think that I'm awesome, and I think that I'm doing something awesome, and I think that I'm impacting a lot of people's lives in a really positive way. And when you really love yourself, even something really shitty, it's kind of like, yeah, that kind of sucks, but it also doesn't matter, because I'm my biggest fan, and I love me, and I have so many friends that love me, and I have a family that loves me, and I have a little kitty that loves me, and at the end of the day, that's all that really counts. So yeah, keep sending your questions, and I love you guys. I hope you all have a beautiful Saturday, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Bye!